Hey everyone. I'm a bit under the weather. So my voice might crack or I might cough um, very harshly or whatever. But anyway, so today we're gonna go over how to sketch polynomial graphs. And I want to emphasize that in order to do this, you need the zeros. You need some version of the zeros in order to do anything. So here we have a situation where it says sketch the graph of y equals x cubed minus x squared minus 12x. Okay, so this is a cubic function, and the way we can tell that is by looking at the highest degree of one of the terms, which ends up being 3. Right, the degree here is 2, degree here is 1. So this is cubic. And because this is a cubic function, we expect to get 3 solutions. So how can we get these solutions as it is now? So the first way I'm going to show you is by factoring, right? So right now it's equal to y. You want to set it equal to 0. So you're going to rewrite it as 0 equals x cubed minus x squared minus 12x. Right? So let's see what we can factor out first. Right now all 3 terms have an x in common. So we can factor that out. And we end up with x squared minus x minus 12. This piece right here, you can easily factor using whatever method you're comfortable with, whether it's the traditional way of factoring trinomials or the box method. I'm not going to go through that, and if you do need a refresher on how to factor, just go back to one of my videos on factoring. But you end up getting x minus 4 and x plus 3. Now that you've factored everything, you want to set each of the factors equal to 0 because each of them will give you your one of your 3 x values. So we're going to just split them all up. This is just x, so we can just write it as x equals 0. This is x minus 4 equals 0. This is x plus 3 equals 0. This is already in its final form, so that's one answer. That's 1, 0. We know if we add 4 to both sides, we get x equals 4. So it's a second 0. And then if we minus 3 on both sides here, we get our third 0, which is here. Okay, so we have enough. Now when it comes to sketching, just do something simple. Make sure you label which one is your y and x axis. And you want to plot your x-intercepts clearly, so plot it, either indicate it's 0, or if you want to put intervals, just make sure it's spaced properly and plot them accordingly. So 4 is going to go here and negative 3 is going to go here. Now if you're just reaching Algebra 2, this is probably going to be the first time you're seeing a cubic function. But let's say you don't naturally know what the graph is going to look like. You should have access to a calculator. And what you can do, you just get this out the light. So what you can do, just type in the equation. So x cubed, then minus x squared, then minus 12x. You want to hit graph. This is pretty much what your graph is going to look like. So you just want to mimic that sketch. So it comes up. See if you can pass through the points too. Comes up, passes through one point, turns, goes down, passes through the other point, turns, goes back up, passes through the final point. And that's pretty much it. So let's look at another one. This one's a adaptation of a Regents question. The beginning part of it says in the grid on the grid below. But the rest of it says sketch a cubic polynomial whose zeros are 2, 5, and negative 2. And it says write an equation of the function in standard form. Okay, so we know that they gave us 3 zeros, and that being 2, 5, and negative 2. Now, if you want to write this in standard form, you're going to need the factors. So to turn the x-intercepts into factors, we just move them over. Pretty much the reverse of this. So moving forward, we get x by itself. Moving backward, we put whatever value is on the opposite side of the x back towards where it is. So we're going to minus 2 on both sides to get x minus 2. Minus 5 on both sides to get x minus 5. And minus 2 on both sides, and add 2, on both sides to get x plus 2. And now we have our factors. So I'm actually going to write the function off to the side here as x minus 2, x minus 5, and x plus 2. I'll quickly sketch the graph here, and then we're going to proceed to multiply this out and write this in standard form. So Just get a quick sketch here. Put a y, put your x. We know that our x-intercepts were 2, 5, and -2. We already have a function with our factors. We can actually just plug that into the calculator as they are, and we'll get our graph. X minus 2 parentheses, x minus 5 parentheses, and then x plus 2. Hit the graph, and we have it here. So as you can see, the top part of the graph is kind of cut off. You want to make sure you see your entire graph. This is just a typical cubic function, so nothing crazy is going to happen up here, but just for practice, especially when you start experiencing more difficult polynomials. So I went down to my y max since my top part was cut off. I want more y values up, so I increased the y max. Once you do that, you're going to hit graph. You should get to see, yeah, everything as they are. And then you just sketch like what you see. So graph here, boop, boop. And you have a good sketch. Now let's get to the final part of this, where we need to write this in standard form. So when you're trying to multiply and simplify everything out, if you have multiple factors, you only want to work with 2 at a time. So let's work with the first 2. If we distribute, we get x times x, which is x squared, x times -5, so -5x, then -2x, then +10. And then we're left with x plus 2. So I'm going to simplify this. We have x squared, -5 minus 2 is -7x, plus 10, and then we get x plus 2. Now, when you're multiplying, again, you can use whatever method you want. I don't want to take too much time breaking down between box method and foiling and all this other stuff. I'm just going to run through it quickly. So now we're going to multiply these 3 terms with these 2. So x squared times x, that's x cubed. X squared times 2, that's plus 2x squared. -7x times x, -7x squared. -7 times 2, still -14x. 10 times x, that's plus 10x. 10 times 2, that's plus 20. Okay, great. So we end up with these. And we're going to combine like terms, so nothing combined with x cubed, so it's just x cubed. These combine to give you -5x squared, right? 2 minus 7. We have -14 plus 10, that's -4x. And then we just have a plus 20. And that is our standard form of our equation. It has to be in descending order, the exponent, so 3, 2, 1, 0, whatever. And that is pretty much done with the problem. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, just leave them in the comment section below, like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!